academically, professionally, and personally. When educators embody the principle that mastering research methodology, they inspire themselves to adopt the same philosophy. This creates a culture of lifelong curiosity and growth within academic institutions. Thank you for actively participating in the faculty development program on research methodology. Your enthusiasm and engagement truly enrich the session. We appreciate your commitment to continue learning and professional growth. Your presence contributes to a collaborative and inspiring environments. Wishing you continued success in your academic journey. Once again, all the best to our academic to get knowledge from this today's update. Thank you all.
For highlighting the significance of this program. It has indeed set the context for our learning today. The mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, the great teacher inspires. William Arthur Ward. It gives me great honor to welcome our esteemed resource person, Dr. Shakila M.K., a distinguished academician and expert in her field. We are privileged to have you with us today, ma'am. Please take the session forward. We are looking forward. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Patricia. I am understanding that my voice is audible to everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Vaidegi has been good enough to say that, she will.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please present it. So we'll start as it is, by the time she gets it ready, we'll start with the discussion on the case. Please, class or whoever is in the meeting, let's understand this is a meeting. This is not a classroom setting. So feel free. You have two options. You can unmute, talk to us, or just put it in the chat box, like how you have put your names. Let's hear from each other, okay? Don't give me a feel that it's going to be a monologue. See, the advantage of case study or research, okay? Case study methodology, how we handle it in class, I'm not getting there. We are talking about as for the research. It's a great advantage to have case methodology at first case, because in business, there's nothing called right or wrong. It's only favorable, not favorable. So in case also, there are no right or wrong answers. So if I'm going to ask a question like, should we buy a company or not? At the end of, giving data about two different company X and Y, and then say, should we buy this company? Not necessarily the answer has to be yes or no. It can be anything for that matter. So always it's is it favorable or unfavorable for the time being to the business? That is how the research is going to be. So not necessarily there is no standard answer. So that's an advantage of getting into the research. So next slide, ma'am. So the moment, I this morning only I was thinking, why not I add picture? I'll ask ChatGPT to create a picture for me. And then also mentioned about AI. So I thought, yes, he has touched what I wanted to make a mention. Like, why not a picture? So ChatGPT gave me what is in the left. Case study with all Western wear people and all that. Then I asked ChatGPT, give me Indian faces, Indian attire. Then it gave a similar thing given in this. So now again, this is a case study by itself, through the discussion by itself, like the AI is always Western. Why can't it take input from an Indian? So subsequently, next slide, I went to Meta AI. That is in the mobile phone, WhatsApp, right? There again, I asked to give me one picture. It gave me one where it had some unusual pictures, and also I said, nah, give me one more, and it gave a better one. That is what I have put in the subsequent slide. Vaidemam, can I have the next slide? This is the one which Meta AI invariably gave. Okay, that's really nice. Okay, let's coming back to the case. How does it different? Like other models, we know we set a hypothesis, we go for data collection, and we do a lot of analysis. We come up with ANOVA, MANOVA, correlation, regressions, scree plot, and come to conclusion. Is it positive? Is it negative? What to do and all of that. But somewhere those numbers, sometimes we get carried away and we get into too much of numbers and forgetting the real life situations. And case study gives us that. a real-time situation, real-world context. And then there are questions, a case for a research. That is, if you're writing an article for publication in related to a case, not necessarily you should have a conclusion saying this is exact. No, there are suggestions. And you can also conclude saying these are the questions that can be raised and the discussions can be taken based on this. So there can be lots of questions, okay? And there is flexibility in methodology. We'll discuss that also. Like, how do we get data for this? Is it that only one more, or are we going to have more? We have lots of things. And there can be similar situations coming up. There can be a rare situation. Recently, one video I was looking into Instagram, I think about 2 weeks back or something, or recently, I don't remember the date. There we talked about one auto person. He's making lots of money, close to 20,000, because he places his auto outside the American embassy, and then he uses it as a lodge. That is, if I am a candidate, I have to get into the American embassy. I cannot carry my bags, so I will have to drop it somewhere, and it has to be a clock room. So this auto man says, I will hold your bags for how many ever times you want to enter, come back for documentation whatsoever, and you pay me 1,000 rupees. So on an average, he takes around 20-30 bags a day, meaning 20 to 30,000 rupees is what he is on an average. So then the income for the month is fantastic, I would say, very lucrative. Now, such unique cases can be taken up for discussions. Our very famous Dabbawalas of Mumbai is a case study, big hit case study, and how Government of India transformed railways from non-profitable institution to very profitable institution. That was a case study in Harvard. So all of such situations we can also see from our real life drafted. We can start with caselets, small ones. That's how even I started. I started giving caselets to my classes, situations when we see in early real life style, like outside in the traffic. What do we see when there are red, green, yellow happening, and the orange, and how people move around? We can just discuss that and take it up. I'm giving an example. Life is full of examples. Even if we go to a tea shop, we'll find some person behaving in a different way, some person in an impressive way. We can call bigger case. And the main point is, as I told you earlier, case doesn't have a standard answer. So there can be different dimensions to it. If I'm saying, at the audience, I think if possible, you can just try and respond. Okay, I'm going to tell you one situation and you can give me your purview, whatsoever comes to your mind. If I say, last year, this is 2025, correct? 2023, my profit was 50 lakhs and 2024 profit 75 lakhs, and then 2025 my profit is 80 lakhs. What do you perceive from this? The audience can say it. I just put the number here: 50, 75, and now 80 lakhs. So what does the number look like, sound like to you? Anybody from the audience would like to just respond? Feel free. Hello. Okay, so does it mean the audience is not listening to me? Are you all there? Hi, class. Are you all there? Okay, we have first. There is an increase. Okay, anybody else? Willpower has the willpower to respond. Anybody else? In that case, let me take look at the difference. It's 50 to 75 is 25 lakhs increase. And then from 75 to 80, it is only 5 lakh increase. Actually, is it an increase? It is increasing, but in a diminishing order. 25 lakhs, you get a profit in one particular year. Subsequent year, you are getting only 5 lakh increase. Is actually not an increase. It's increasing in a diminishing order. It means it is signaling that next year, probably there is a loss. So these are different dimensions. I may be right, I may be wrong. It's only a perception that I'm giving you that. there can be 10 different dimensions to it. You can look into it as from the HR point of view, from the finance point of view, from the marketing point of view, from legal point of view, whatsoever. Okay, because the audience is not responding, I'm not giving another situation because that I would like to have answers to get into. Sales is increasing. GSP, okay, sale is increasing in a diminishing fashion. Okay, sale is increasing. Good. So just like that, if we say sale is, now what is the reason for it? Now we're saying there is increase in profit, there is increase in sales. I'm also giving you an added point that suddenly there is 25 increase and then there is 5 increase. And so what does it mean? It could mean lack of training. Already existing employees, a few could have left. There are new employees, or the market is getting saturated, or the pricing is getting difficult, your competition is becoming tight. We don't know. There are lots of assumptions for one just data, 50, 75 and 80 lakhs. This is the data. We can come up with our own assumptions. So anytime, yes, factors are infinite. Yes, Sarita, I'm with you on this. Taxation. See, I'm not coming there, but still, having taken up the topic, our Muslims say 1/6 of our income has to be given to the Raja as tax. So this is what our sacred book says. Even Tirukkural says this. So tax, we should never feel bad of paying tax. We should pay tax. So what happens? So a data is given, a number is given. Now it is for us to do the analysis. If it is for us to do the analysis and see to it that what we are teaching, what we are discussing, that competition is still not that much taxes. See, we don't know. I have not given you the product. One thing, I have not given you the product. Two, I have not told you who's my market. So we cannot say competition is not that. It's just an assumption. Probably you can even say my assumption is that. So any case study, if you are going to give it in as a part of your research presentation, for example, you're going to make an article and publish an article where you are drafting a case, you can give data for analysis. Numbers will always be interesting in cases. Okay, so give situations, give data. It will be interesting for this users to your article for discussion. As I told you, the assumptions. We may have many assumptions. Maybe window dressing. Yes, that's why Sarita rightly said factors are infinite. Okay, so we have to mention our assumptions very clear. Assumption could be if the market is domestic. Assumption could be it is an international market. Assumption could be XYZ is your competitor, whatsoever. Okay, and which product you are dealing into. All of that could be an assumption. So anytime we are drafting a case for research, we are going to think about all of this. One thing, real world situation. It should help the audience come with discussions related to questions. There should be flexibility in methodology. It could be a unique situation. Lots of dimensions. We should encourage lots of dimensions. And there should be some data for analysis. Okay. And then assumptions to be clearly mentioned. If I'm clear till then, we'll go for the next slide. Okay, so I am giving this. Okay, this is my category that when you want to make a case, it could be on your own. You write it on your own. That's most of the time what I do. And then your live data. Live data is where it's all published. Data is collected. Newspaper gives you lots of case studies, so you can get into that. Particularly when it comes to the September's period, like you will have the audited balance sheets getting published, and if you could read through, Business Line generally gives it like data will be there given in one sheet. Subsequently, in one of the previous pages or the subsequent pages, data will be given about the company so that you can get into the data plus see this background information and then the balance sheet, do an analysis. So that is a live data. You can take that also, do an analysis. The next slide, please. This is an Instagram page. Vaidhi ma'am mentioned that she's not into Instagram, so she may not be able to post it. I will try and see if I can present it from my side. Just let me know if the audience is able to see this.
तरफ से मुझे एक इनविटेशन आया। वैसे तो मैं कभी किसी गवर्नमेंट इवेंट में नहीं जाता हूँ, क्योंकि दिल्ली देश की राजधानी है और पिछले 10-15 सालों से दिल्ली का जो एयर पोल्यूशन पीक पे पहुंच गया, वाटर पोल्यूशन, कूड़े का पहाड़ और जो तमाम दिक्कतें हमने देखी हैं, तो नई सरकार ने 100 दिन में क्या काम किए हैं उसे बताने के लिए इवेंट था, और जिसके लिए दिल्ली की सीएम रेखा गुप्ता अपने मेंबर्स के साथ आई थी। और जो उन्होंने अच्छे काम किए, जैसे हर गवर्नमेंट बताती है वैसे ही उन्होंने बताया। मैंने जब पर्सनली इसके ऊपर रिसर्च की तो मुझे पता चला कि इन्होंने एक्चुअली में क्या काम किए। हैरानी होगी आपको जान के कि हजारों की तादाद में ऐसे सीवेज हैं, नाले।
Is the audience able to hear it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
प्रॉपर गंदगी, मतलब करीब 800 मिलियन लीटर का गंदगी सीवेज जो है वो यमुना में जाता है। उससे टैकल करने के लिए इन्होंने एक्चुअली 40 एसटीपीज को बिल्ड करने के लिए 500 करोड़ रुपए अप्रूव किए हैं। इसके बाद मुझे पता चला कि दिल्ली में 1700 कॉलोनी अनऑथराइज्ड है जिनके नाले डायरेक्टली यमुना में जाता है। इसको भी इन्होंने आइडेंटिफाई किया है। और सबसे अच्छी चीज जिससे सुन के आप भी शॉक हो जाओगे, दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट ने सिंगापुर की तरह ये जो आपने कूड़े का पहाड़ देखा है, इसे करने के लिए 4 वेस्ट टू एनर्जी प्लांट लगाने का प्रस्ताव रखा है। देखो बता दो, सिंगापुर वन ऑफ द क्लीनेस्ट सिटी है, क्योंकि वहां पर जो कूड़ा होता है वो ऐसी फैक्ट्रीज में जाता है जहां पे वो डिकम्पोज करके उसे एनर्जी में कन्वर्ट करते हैं। सेम यही कॉन्सेप्ट दिल्ली में किया जा रहा है एंड लिटरली ये बहुत अमेजिंग चीज है। ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ है। ऐसा ही एयर पॉल्यूशन, इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल प्रोजेक्ट्स को स्टार्ट करना, ऐसे कुछ काम किया दिल्ली सरकार ने। देखो अच्छी बात है, अगर इसी तरीके से लगातार 5 साल तक दिल्ली में काम होता है तो डेफिनेटली बहुत बदलाव देखने को मिलेगा। बट फिलहाल के लिए इन्होंने 100 दिन में कई ऐसे इनिशिएटिव लिए हैं जो डेफिनेटली तारीफ करने वाले हैं। वैसे जो लोग दिल्ली में रहते हैं वो ज्यादा बेहतर बता सकते हैं। और वीडियो
I stop the presentation now. I think, ma'am, you can continue. Now, if you could hear what we mentioned, say this person is talking about satisfaction. We are not going to definitely praise IRCTC or Air India for giving us good water, but we are definitely going to tell them it's very dissatisfying if the water given is unhygienic. So water across India or across mankind, humankind, or across living being kind, I think we should have water in a good place. Ganga, Ma Ganga, what I generally say is at one point of time was full of dead bodies, with full of wastes and all that. Now, if you could see after the Namami Gange project, Namami Gange meaning Amma, I go to you, Ma Ganga. So that is the respect with which we have to treat water. Now, what are the near the riverfront and the surface cleaning? I recently had been twice to Varanasi, and I have personally tasted the water of Ganga. And when I went there, my friends had all said, no, it's going to be really dirty. So I went there, I actually could drink the water from Ganga straight from the surface, meaning not a little further, right? When you get in, you could drink. That is the cleaning that people have done. And the biodiversity conversation, the public awareness that we are not supposed to spit, we are not supposed to urinate, we are not supposed to treat rivers like a dustbin. So many dimensions to only one thing, that the water has to be clean. Drinking water or whatever that we are talking about. Water has to be cleaning, meaning what are the dimensions to it? This is one case study by itself. Probably whatever that Instagram person mentioned, we can do a lot of homework by collecting more and more data into it. Thank you for that. Next. Okay. Now you have to develop a case study. Now we have understood what are all the aspects in case study. Case study can have different dimensions. Case study can have lots of assumptions, and it need not have the similar answers. It should have lots of questions. Having understood all of it, now let's try and understand how do we develop it, how do we write it. Yes, somebody wanted to talk to me or somebody talking there? Did I miss any conversation? Ah, so what are the one? Next, the first thing is problem identification. Okay, we'll have to identify what are we going to talk about. And in our research language, we call it as research question. In a business context, we just like they call it problem identification. And then what is the boundary? When I say boundary, it means the limitations, the constraints, like for example, our assumptions here. Assumption is that Chennai is your market. Assumption is that India is your market. Assumption is that Mumbai is your market. Assumption is that you are dealing with Chicago. Then the results are going to be different. You know, how you will sell in Japan, how you will sell in Germany, and how you are going to sell it in India is perfectly, totally different. We accept errors here and there. For example, if I'm going to say an Alan Zuri shirt is 1,000 rupees 999 is available because they're for a cheaper price like 299 because there is one button which has a different color or a shade. India will accept it comfortably. I don't think that's going to happen in Japan. So that is our boundary. We are going to talk about what are the assumptions. Then we have to collect data to create the discussion. Case basically should be leading to discussions. Okay, so we'll have to collect data from different sources, present it, do a little analysis, and if there are analysis, do it. In case you don't want to go beyond, leave it for the audience. Put it saying that further discussions can be held in area 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then whatsoever analysis we do, present the findings and draft a report, comfortably place it. Very simple, like all our report writing, same model. Okay, but only point is here we will clearly have the problem. We'll clearly have the assumptions. Please understand these assumptions and the boundaries is what makes a case different. For example, one company, what they did in 1960s, we cannot tell the same company to do this same activity in 2025 because situations are pretty different. So that time is going to be the boundary at that point. Can I have the next slide? Okay, now we said different methods of data. You collect a lot of data. I told you about newspapers, like getting into the newspaper, getting into the audited balance sheets, supported, fine, fantastic. Personally, I prefer first two things that I have said here. One is the interviews, okay. Again, I'm not getting too much into it because how we conduct interview, are we going to have a questionnaire or a schedule is a separate decision by itself. Probably the other resource persons may touch on that. So interviews, yes, that is going to be very, very supportive. Plus is your observation. When we say observation, we mean two models. One is that disguised observation. The next is undisguised. That is, when I don't tell you that I'm watching you, but I make a note of what you are doing. What is your purchase behavior? For example, okay, what is your purchase behavior? I ask you if you use a particular product, and you are finicky about it. You don't want to mention and all that. So all I have to do is just get into the dustbin and see if there are products related to or the covers related to the product that I am looking at. Then I can note this is the product, this is the brand, the person. Or I just go to the pharmacy. I'm giving an example. Sit there in the pharmacy and see how many people are buying one particular medicine. For example, I'm asking if you are diabetic, how many people are diabetic? And you don't want to answer that, you are diabetic. Then what do we do? Just go sit in the pharmacy near the diabetes medicine counter, and then you can see how many people are buying it, what they are buying. Are they buying insulin? Or they buying oral medicines? What is that they are buying? You can do a note, observation. To tell that I'm watching you, and then you're doing it undisguised. But don't tell people that they are getting watched. And surprisingly, you do it, then it is an disguised observation. But watch out. Don't get too much into this disguise mode and land up in problems. But it's always good to tell people and observe. Okay. Then we have our archival analysis. That is our records. We get into our records, documents, collect data. What others would have done already. All those data. Then collect it, support it with your other modes of data collection. Okay. Then your audio visuals. Of late, that's a fact. Whatever we say, sometimes children don't really listen. Then you you have some music around, some audio visuals, then people will listen to you much better. Okay. Now also, if you could recollect, we had one Instagram feed. Probably for a minute, that would have, I am making a wild guess that it would have attracted your attention. So those are your materials, that supporting materials you can have. Then do a survey. With all these things, you can collect data for case study. One or more methodology can be used. Not necessarily all the methods have to be used. Not necessarily only one have to be used. Whatever is suitable for the situation, it could be done. For example, GS Journal says, talking about entrepreneur and venture. In such a case, for example, if you are going to write about entrepreneur and venture, the best model will be to do an interview, see the documents in terms of their profitability, and then do an analysis. That is going to help. Can I have the next slide? Okay. See, generally, SWOT analysis is something that I always appreciate. And it's going to be a major advantage if you're going to have a SWOT analysis into the case. Okay. It's very simple. Most of the times we have a little misunderstanding on what is, if it's a strength or a weakness, or a threat or a opportunity. So the simple model is, I'm telling you, strength and weakness are internal factors. That much you remember. Okay. It's an internal factor. Because it is an internal factor, it is controllable. Meaning you can do something about it, boss. Okay. You can do something about it. Then it is internal. It is controllable. And here is an example. Brand image or in your employee interest. Subsequently, you have the O and T. Next slide. Where both are uncontrollable because they are external factors. The moment you talk about government policies, we can't do anything about it as an individual. We can appeal, but that's not going to get any tinkering is going to be done because one of us are going to. It may take some time, so it's not that we are going to control it. So, competition, we cannot do anything about it. And the way market is behaving, we can't do anything about it. So all of these are uncontrollable external factors. If it is favorable, we'll say opportunity. If it is not favorable, then we'll say threat. So I've just given you this positive, negative statement. There's nothing positive or negative. It's only favorable, unfavorable. During COVID, I remember the entire city was all saying, the entire nation and the world were in a gloomy mood. But one of my students who was actually, I shouldn't say the company name, he was actually a Tamil Nadu head. He was making huge money as an employee of the company. But then because there was the COVID, he used the evening 2 hours time, free time, by sourcing the mask from different places, from the manufacturer, and he started distribution in Chennai. In months' time, he made about 2-3 lakhs. And he was so happy. He came home to celebrate it and gifted me a bunch of masks. Then I did pushing to accept money. As teachers, we don't accept gifts. So point is, what is negative to others can still be an opportunity to you because it's going to be favorable to you. As simple as that. Can I have the next slide now? Dr. Vaidhi, can I have? Yeah. These are my children here. These are photographs. I work for Guru Nanak College, and these boys are my students. One assignment for the day was just 1 kilometer radius, meeting as many people as possible who are into small entrepreneurship, and then the children have to make a complete case study report. This is Aditya, who is in blue shirt, and the other one is Ashish. Okay, Ashish is from Uttar Pradesh. Aditya is from Chennai, outskirts. And both of them did, and I not actually had one more photograph. I was looking for it. I couldn't post that. It's about one tea shop person, husband and wife, who were running it outside in the 100 feet road. But I wouldn't mention who is which brand that I'm talking about. One of the retail sector, organized retail sector, during the interview said that particular husband and wife, the person with lungi, not a very appealing presentation outside that particular restaurant. And that was the time when GST was introduced, and a coffee which was costing about 8-10 rupees became 25 rupees. So that particular organized restaurant said, the manager was telling, our competition is not the other retail sectors, but this couple who are just outside our showroom and they are selling coffee, chai for a very cheaper price. And we are getting scared because our business is getting eaten by this couple. So you can understand, by meeting people, you can draft. By meeting people, you can write about what kind of behavior are there. One person I still remember, if my memory is correct, his name was Shivakumar. Outside the Tiruvanur bus depot, he had one moving stall where he was selling masala kadale. Okay, so the peanuts, masala peanuts. So once I had been there to buy it. So in the process, I asked him about his family, business, what is his working capital, and I was really surprised when he said he is earning about 30,000 rupees profit. I'm talking only profit, okay, not the income. 30,000 rupees profit, and his timings are somewhere between 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Only 3 hours a day, 30,000 rupees. Good. And he mentioned that he doesn't know what is insurance, and he couldn't do it for the family also. So some inputs I had given to them at that point of time. So you can do an interview, draft it, and subsequently you talk about what kind of education has to be given to these people so that it is convenient. Should we talk about mudra loans to them? All of that. We recently did one more assignment on in Nanganallur's Tirvika Nagar, that zone. We walked into many small entrepreneurs like this and did an interview. We submitted a Google form to all the class children, and we collected data on, do they know that government gives them loan? How do they manage funds and all that? And it came out to be very interesting case study for discussion in the class. So similarly, we can also do. That's the idea. I'm not saying this is the model. I think this is one of the models that you could opt for. Meet people, interview them. We have MSME offices. We have EDII office in Chennai. But this is for Chennai people. But anybody outside Chennai also can try. In your own locality, you will have Kanchia, Kodicchia, Madicchia, Tidicchia, or any government organization or an NGO supporting entrepreneurship. So ask them for data. They will arrange for meetings, and you can all as well, meet all of them, collect data. This was just an approach. Anybody from Delhi here who can actually talk about the Yemen cleaning? Is it really happening the way which we expected it? If there are, please drop a message in the chat box. Can you have the next slide, ma'am? Okay, there are two articles that I just went into Google Scholar and downloaded. Okay, this is one link. By any chance, can you show that a PDF, ma'am, or can I?
I couldn't show, ma'am.
That's okay. I'll share. Just give me a second. It's about how there are sample articles. Two article samples that I have taken up. I'll present it for the audience. My end. Share. Show my screen. Okay, this is one case study that I'm mentioning. Is everybody able to see this? A case study on entrepreneurship for sustained innovation. This is from China, Finland. Okay, and you could see that there is an introduction, there is background, literature review. We did have a previous FDP on literature review. Then your dynamic capabilities, the main concept, which is the innovation. See, off late, whenever we talk entrepreneurship, we talk innovation. And the methodology, there are case studies, how it has happened. And then there is a conclusion providing data for discussion. You can see year-wise data is given for the audience to come up with our own discussions. just let me know if you're able to see this International Journal of Advanced Research. Let me see from my screen. Yes. This International Journal of Advanced Research. This is from us, India, Jalandhar. Okay, and you see that there is a similar approach where we are talking introduction, objective, review, okay, methodology. There is a model, hypothesis, data for lots of discussion, and then the conclusion. So if you could see this, you might think it is. I think we could start presenting. So if you could see this, the first article did not talk much into hypothesis and all that, whereas the second article did talk about hypothesis. So not necessarily when we say a case study, we cannot have an empirical study. That empirical study can be done, and then approach to the case study can be taken up. Next slide, please. Data for lots of discussion, and then the conclusion. So if you could see after slide 3, that is after article 2. Next slide, please. So if you see this, second, first article. Very ma'am. Next slide. Yeah. That means I'm done. I'm done. Happy writing case. Now it's open for the audience to ask me questions. Okay, so what we have generally taken up here is any situations in our own lifetime. You can put it down in papers, give it the structure of the research, your introduction, your conclusion, that. I've reviewed them, but heart and soul into experience part of it. That is what is going to make it a case study. Your experiences, what is your feeling, and then your supportive assumptions, supporting documents, discussions, analysis, presented, and done is your case. So you can start writing caselets to begin with, then publish case studies. Try it in conferences. You can make a presentation, classroom presentations you could do. Subsequently, you can think about research in case study also. But if you are going to think about a PhD thesis in case, you will need a lot of data, something like, for example, at least 10-year balance sheet of the company to see the growth, 10-year information about the market growth, so that you can draft a BCG matrix and say, is the market growing, is the company growing, and how is it, and all that. But that's going to be a little challenging because a lot of data is involved. Many companies may wish to share the information. Some companies may not wish to. So that's a challenge. So I think for articles, there should not be an issue. I still remember we had one during 2007. Okay, there was a time when there was downfall, economy was going down, and many people were losing jobs. Okay, so I had an opportunity to interview a few of those people. That was a recession period. Then my article got published in SRM Digest, and I subsequently I presented this paper in one of the national conferences where I got the first best paper for this particular article. The understanding was that, when I spoke to these HR people of different companies, I'm not naming those companies to you now as an audience. Okay. They said there are no recessions in their company particularly, but they used the opportunity and said because of recession, they were removing few people from the company as a part of their retrenchment exercise. But these were hit lists. These were already listed and the company was waiting for an opportunity to send them out of the company. Okay, the HR team was actually have done the homework. So it is recession has nothing to do. Brilliancy is that we used a negative situation as a positive opportunity for you to clean up your environment, office environment. So that's the benefit of getting into such cases. I did present those situations as a case and the research best papers award. So anything that the audience would like to question, feel free. If I know the answer, I tell you. If I don't know, together let's explore. Journal, Sarita, willpower. Alamelu, Khalid, Santosh, Sridhar, Vishnu. Anybody can question. Satya.
Ma'am, I'm having one question.
Yes. I hope I know the answer or I have an answer.
Yeah. Certainly, you're the right person to answer me, ma'am.
I wish.
My name is Alamilu. I'm in Savita School of Engineering, ma'am. Actually, we are doing research that is in PhD and all. Is it advisable to go over case study method, ma'am?
It is advisable. I'll tell you what. It's going to be very, very interesting to do it. I myself wanted to do one. What I did was, my idea was to get into the MEPS and collect data from those companies, but I had to take up some government official permissions which I could not get, but I'm not giving it up. Okay, you can also, what you could do is probably talk to a few companies, choose a sector, talk to the companies, and tell them that you're going to talk only positive about them, and they're going to be suggestions for improvement, and it is not going to be negative. That way, people will be happy to give you the few examples. Like, you can get into Kanchipuram, and do they have market even now for the Kanchipuram silks when you have more and more machines coming in? I'm just giving an example.
So we are traditionally going and purchasing the those Kanchipuram.
Correct. The one I'm wearing is also a Kanchipuram silk.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so people like me who are still crazy, we still go to the weaver, we give them time, we tell them this is how we want it. But sometimes we just get in and buy some things which looks like and then it's actually a polyester machine made, then the price is different. So I'm just giving you that example. You can check out, is it feasible to run a weaving showroom at home and still manageable? Do they have government rules? Is that sector taken care by the startup India and all of that? This is again a case study. Please go for it. If you're getting into Tata Group or Reliance Group and do an analysis, the results are going to be fantastic. The only thing is they should allow you to publish data.
That's what
That's a challenge.
Limitations we can tell, but I thought of doing my research in such a way very differently.
It is going to be very interesting when you present. Also, the confidence with which you will present will be extraordinary. Than to say R is equal to so and so. One way Anava says this. Yes, but still, when you have live data to discuss, that's going to be extraordinary.
How many case studies I can go, ma'am? In case
if it is, for example, if it is you're going to take up a company like Tata, and one or two comparisons here and there should be fantastic. But if you're taking small people, then you have to go for a sector. Self-help group, assuming I'm saying I'm meeting self-help, at least 10-15 self-help groups I have to meet and then come with a conclusion. Or if I'm going to talk to students and then come to an understanding on how students are, about 1,000 students should be, I think it will make sense. So it is based on the sector, based on the situation that your number will vary. Invariably, your guide will also give you a suggestion on how to do it.
Yeah, obviously. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Welcome. That was nice, Alamilu.
Thank you.
Anybody else in the audience would like to share something to add? Anybody can add to what we have discussed. Uma says wastewater management. Lovely it is. Yes. Subsequently, see, in India, we have waste water management is a necessity. Even if I'm going to come to your home and you're going to give me water, one thing is I should initially say I don't want nonsense. We should never waste water. Wastewater management itself is a big case study. We can definitely do it. Sea water we have, and how to convert the sea water into a drinking water. Those things, what are the economies into it? Because I'm saying Vaidya, I'm saying the economic part of it. Like, what is the economy? How much money is going to go into that treatment, and is it worth it? All of that can be a major discussion case. Yes. Clean air, converting waste into energy, increase in employment, absolutely, increase in lifetime also. Yeah. How many of us, by the end of the day, we feel so exhausted. When we travel outside and come home and you touch the face, it's so chipak, what do we call it? It's so sticky. that's the kind of air that we have, clean air, yes. We can take it up as a case study by itself. These are examples. Probably you could talk about this signal, traffic signal, this location, air pollution is more. So let's go with electronic vehicle and how safe it is. Is it worth it or all? The central minister Nitin Gadkari Saab always says, I'm going for electronic vehicles. Diesel and petrol and all should be minimized on the road. I'm with him on that, but how far it is safe, we don't know. Anybody else? Are we done? Can we call it a day? So I think, ma'am, shall I take it as I'm done?
Yeah, one question from my side, like your
I hope I
person to talk about case study approach to research. But my question is, people are actually going through this questionnaire, okay, statistical analysis and other things. Why people are not willing to take case study as a research approach? Point number one. And second one, if you look at our university point of view, Madras University, Bharatdasan, what will be the percentage of case study research approach from the total, from your expertise knowledge?
Point number one, I'll appreciate both the questions. One, why are we not publishing more cases? It is because we expect about like 200 pages, 150 pages of writing. When it comes to a case, you need to have that much content into it, which means that the company or service, because I'm into business, I'm using the word company or the organization, they will have to willingly give that much data. Are the people willing to give? That is the challenge that even Alamilu was mentioning. If the government itself, says, for example, there was a MPhil project which said we need in Chennai metros, railways. One of the MPhil projects only let the government to decide that we need to have, I'm talking about the Velachery, Tiruvanmiyur belt one. It was initially brought because of a research only. But are we interested in suggesting to the government, are we interested in taking that exam? For example, if I'm saying government do this, very easy, generally all children will do. We would have seen hunting number of projects where they reduce cost, give advertisement, increase the advertisement, reduce price. But where is the money coming from? How much to be introduced? How much money? What is the cost of manufacturing? All this data has to be presented for one suggestion, increase it. Increase advertisement, to what extent, in which media, how much money? So to that extent, if we have to find data and substantiate it, by the time it get released, the situation is different. For example, 2025, I'm doing a research and collecting data, and by the time I'm publishing it in 27, 28, market is different. Now, no more diesel cars, no more petrol cars. Then I am talking about how to reduce petrol. It's gone. So that's one disadvantage. And how many researchers are available? I have not done the homework, so I'm really not the right person to answer this. But yes, of late, industry is ready. University of Madras is ready, or any university for that matter, are ready to come up or support case study approach that I'm able to see. In case we find that is difficult, we can start with publication as an article. All research, once like how I said, I publish it as an article, or I make a presentation in the paper presentation conferences. It's comfortable. Probably at a later stage, you can go up to even Harvard University, publish your cases and all that.
Excellent. Thank you, ma'am. Audience, any other questions from any other?
Ma'am, this is Dr. Arun, another department. Not a question, just want to appreciate, from my bottom of heart. The session was really great. Case study, most of the research scholars are, faculty who completed research, do not know very much about this case study, including myself as head of the department, even though head of the department, as an individual or as a research scholar or who completed doctorate, I'm not much aware of it, case study, because we never worried about it or we never bothered about it. But today, from the video, from the, that PPT, I slightly understood that, how much is important the case study for any research scholar or any research that can be done in future. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the great insight, which is given to us. Thank you, ma'am.
The great advantage of case is there are no right or wrong answers. It's only favorable and unfavorable situations. And anytime we ourselves can revisit and change the answer. What sounded best 10 years back is not going to sound good today. And next 10 years, the answer could be totally different. So not necessarily we have to have the answer for. That's an advantage of case.
Any other research scholars are here to ask any question from our Dr. Shakila ma'am? Research scholars? No.
No.
Our faculty? Comments?
Just in case the audience find at later point of time you have some doubts or you want to discuss something, please contact the college and we can take it up later on for discussions at any time. Yes, Sarita, agreed. Case studies inferences are dynamic. Yes.
Dynamic.
Good evening,
Like-
Shakila ma'am.
Hey, Yunika.
How are you, ma'am?
Great.
Thank you for once again giving us the opportunity. I was impressed when you start quoting that example of that American embassy, Atala. Even I read that same incident. He was very, very thoughtful.
Correct.
To be successful, you don't require any
Correct.
degrees or anything. Ma'am, you didn't just present the contents from the book. You were sharing your experiential learning and your,
Thanks.
your depth of knowledge. Thank you so much for that,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you, ma'am. It's
And
a
it-
privilege to listen.
Thanks. Sweet of you. It is just that, how I handle my classes the same way I start writing the PPT. So it will be in the tone of what I'm talking.
Yeah. But as Vaidegi ma'am rightly pointed
No
out,
literature review done for this.
I know. No, as Vaidegi ma'am rightly pointed out, we are into the analysis of questionnaire and all those ANOVAs, but we are not still into that case study. Wherein in Europe and the other countries, more of case studies than the
Yes.
analysis. So we need the transit, ma'am. Maybe that will be more interesting. Even recently, our academic director, ma'am, Vaiva, we happened to see, that was a case study in London. Indian women's got settled in London. The case study was just 20 family women. That was really, and it was forwarded to the government, it seems. So those
And each state of India is a case study by itself. Each state, because we are very different, culturally different. One of the speakers, I don't want to quote his name, he was mentioning that a very renowned speaker saying that in Chennai, you will find all rich people, but silent rich people. He'll say they will be taking a public transport, they'll be taking a bus or a train, and then aramse they'll be going in a cotton sari. Ask them what's your salary, they'll say it's just 2.5 lakhs a month. And this silent richness is what makes Chennai very different from the other places. So every state, 40% of India's startup investment is from Tamil Nadu. And Namami Gange, we talked about it, Uttar Pradesh, Yamuna, now Delhi is known for pollution and they are setting examples on the speed with which they are getting out of the pollution. So every state, every situation that we have is a case study by itself. We should use our student fraternity to understand, because we will not get enough luxury of time to meet people and all that. So I think we'll have to train students to go meet people and then come back with their interview experience. Thereby we will learn more and more. Thank you, Wayne, then for your feedback.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I also attended the same Viva was, ma'am. It is not just 20 families, just 20 members from my family, 20 women family. When I attended that Viva was, I just got shocked. How can a research be done with the 20 members from a 20 family? That those who moved from India to London. But it was also accepted as a research,
Yes.
That time I understood that the case study is one of the important research tools we have to just find out or to just, carry out further research. It was really fantastic, the who defended the research, that research topic, the scholar, who did it, fantastically.
Good.
That I witnessed it on the day.
When the number is less, we expect the researcher to present it in-depth analysis, get into a lot of details, lot of perspectives. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, you are right, ma'am. Thank you.
Jansi Rani has already posted
Feedback.
form.
Because your session, there is no end card. It will go on and on. That is why,
Yes, ma'am. Vaidegi, ma'am, it's true.
yes.
I don't know. Should I take it as a
So that is
positive
why
point or
by
a
condition
second?
only we have to close it. It is like that. So what to do, ma'am? Time constraint. Okay.
I have finished the paper.
So any questions further, we will pass on to you. And
Please,
definitely,
feel free.
Shakila is with us. She's like our one of the important faculty in commerce department. So she's there to help us at any time. Thank you so much, ma'am, for
It's a pleasure to be
yeah,
associated
we are
with
really honored by your presence, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. I'm always there for my
Thank
day.
you, ma'am.
Anytime. Thank you.
Yes.
Good night.
Thank you, ma'am.
We have
Good night,
official
good night.
vote of thanks now.
Yeah, to the point.
Yeah, Lydia.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for such an inspiring and thought-provoking session. Your words have truly enriched us and left us with deep knowledge to reflect upon. Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all the others, Cicero. As we come to the close of this enriching program, I now invite Ms. Asha Vardhani, research scholar, to deliver the vote of thanks and express our collective appreciation.
Thank you, Ms. Lydia. Good evening to one and all. It is indeed a great honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of PG and Research Department of Commerce. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Almighty for showering His blessings upon us and making today's event grand success. I would like to thank Ms. Merlin for the heartfelt opening prayer that set a positive tone for the day. My sincere thanks to our charming MC, Ms. Sneha Lydia, who effortlessly steered the entire session with grace and clarity. I extend heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Vaidegi, PG and Research Department of Commerce, for extending a warm welcome and introducing our chief guest. Finally, I thank our chief guest, Dr. Shakila, Assistant Professor, Department of Management, Guru Nanak College, for a special lecture delivered on case study approach on research. Thank you so much, ma'am. Inputs on the case study approach and research have truly enriched our understanding and opened a new venues for academic exploration. Finally, I extend a heartfelt welcome to our head of the department, Dr. Arunan, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of Commerce, and all the staffs in our department for successfully organizing and coordinating to make this international webinar more successful. Also, I extend my heartfelt thanks to all the participants from different institutions, states, and even countries. Your presence and active involvement have added immense value to today's session. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Asha Vardhani. With that, we conclude today's faculty development program. Once again, we extend our heartfelt thanks to all the dignitaries, faculty members, scholars, and participants for gracing this occasion. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you once again to everyone. Before leaving the session, kindly fill the feedback form which is posted in the chat box. We request all the participants to fill the feedback link which is posted in the chat box. Once again, we thank our PG and Research Department of Shift 1 for organizing this wonderful program, and we appreciate all the participants for your wonderful presence here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hope everybody got the link.